K-pop idols, not allowed to date. Some aren't allowed to drive. Do not openly talk about anything romantic, including sex. You can't even be seen with someone of the opposite gender of you without being at least 6 feet apart, even though they've been a coworker of yours for over 6 years. And the topic of drinking is absolutely off limits. It sounds like I'm describing a child, but nope. I'm talking about grown adults. If you're already into K-pop, then you know how restrictive the life of an idol can be, publicly at least. You're not really allowed to truly live freely like some artists in America, for instance. Megan Thee Stallion can openly talk about whatever she wants, not only in her songs, but in life. She can publicly date whoever she wants. She can do whatever she wants. But for K-pop, it's not just about the music. It's about the culture.
All right, now this one's gonna be a doozy. This is one of my rant videos, and I have a lot of stuff to talk about. So let's just go ahead and start, and hopefully I can help you guys realize that you're acting like psychopaths. The K-pop industry puts the fans first, crafting a specific image of accessibility and innocence to and with the fan, doing very specific things to make it seem like the fans have more of a chance to be with the idol. And more importantly, in today's topic, making it seem like the idol knows nothing about the world that they're currently living in. Becoming more and more of a K-pop stan over the years, there are a lot of rules that I've heard that K-pop idols have to follow, whether that being printed directly in their contracts or management just telling them. It is heavily suggested that you don't do this. Now, obviously, every single rule that I'm about to list does not apply to every single idol, but these are just the ones that I've heard most idols have to live by. You can't date, you can't curse, you can't drink, you can't drive, you can't smoke, you can't interact with coworkers of a different gender, you can't talk about sex, you can't talk about kissing, all that stuff. These rules sound like I'm describing the life of a child, and these rules are being applied to grown men and women. So I've had this video idea for a while. I've had this kind of outline scripted for a while, but what pushed me really over the edge to film this was when Jungkook came out with I was gonna say I've never seen such a weird reaction to a song before. I have. WAP. But as I've talked about previously in other video essays where I discuss K-pop, the K-pop culture that has been created not only by the fans, but fostered, able to be cultivated even more by the actual companies that have these K-pop fans. Whatever happens in, for example, the American music industry, it happens in the K-pop industry, but 20 times worse. So the reaction to 7 by Jungkook was insane, to say the least, on the other end of the spectrum, which I'm going to more talk about today. Some fans were actually disgusted and shocked, trying to find any sort of evidence that Jungkook knew absolutely nothing about sex or fucking, because he's just a ooh-woo little baby. Evidence saying that Jungkook didn't write the song and he's not fluent in English, so he doesn't know what he's talking about, to try and preserve the story that fans have created in their head about Jungkook. I've seen so many tweets being like, oh my god, guys, don't worry, Jungkook didn't write the song. And there are people that were joking, but there are people that were saying that were actually serious. What do you mean, don't worry? There's nothing to worry about. Him knowing about sex and singing about sex, there's nothing to worry about. What are you genuinely worried about that he knows about adult things because he's an adult and he's 27 and he's had sex before because he's an adult and that's what adults do, guys? You guys are scaring me. Like, we're being a little weird now. Also, just because Jungkook had the song written for him, do you think that means in your head that he doesn't know what he's talking about? Because obviously he does, right? He had to know about the song to the point where he's accepting it and he's going to release it as his own single. Also, he has translators around him. Also, he has been exposed to English enough to the point where he knows what some of these words mean. Like I said, Jungkook is 27, and I'm so sorry to break it to you, but these idols that you love dearly and have this scary parasocial relationship with have sex. And they have had sex before with other women or men or people that are not you. they are dating. Some of them have girlfriends. Some of them have boyfriends. Some of them have active romantic lives, because that's what you do when you're a grown adult. And just because they aren't saying it doesn't mean that it's not happening. They've dated someone before and they'll do it again. And eventually they're gonna get married, and some of them want kids, so they're gonna have kids, and it might not be with you, and you need to calm down. Do you not agree with the shit that I'm saying? That's perfectly fine, because Jungkook has literally said this. Why is that dirty? It's about being frank. And I'm of age. I've worked for 10 years. I'll be 28 next year. And I thought if I don't stage a new side of me, I won't be able to make a real challenge. Let's just say I follow the image as maknae. Just follow these needs people have for me. I won't be able to make new things, attempt and create new things. I know sex is a taboo topic, which it shouldn't be, because hey, guess what? If it weren't for sex, none of us would be here. And the dangers of making things a taboo topic. We don't have good sex education. We are taught that just don't have sex. Some people are actually not taught about safe sex, and they don't know that like contraceptives exist, which is scary. So I feel like if we just normalize the topic of sex, a lot of these things that are problems currently just wouldn't be problems. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Basically what I'm saying is not everyone is so sex positive like me. So I understand, also like religion comes into play. Some people think that you should only be with one person, which is completely fine. Free country, free life. You do whatever the fuck you want. But just because you don't agree with something doesn't make it bad. That's also a theme that we very much as human beings need to discuss. Just because you don't agree with the fact that some people are going to date multiple people and think that that's fine, just because you don't think that's okay doesn't make it bad. You can just not agree with something and not partake in it, while not demonizing it. Jungkook saying, why is that dirty? It's about being frank. This song is literally just about having sex with someone. That's literally it. It's really not that deep. People be fucking. Like, I really don't know what to tell you. If you are not comfortable with that, you don't have to listen to the song. That's completely fine. Or you could just listen to the clean version. You don't have to make an entire delusional Reddit thread about it. Oh my god, what the fuck? Maybe it was my fault for going on Reddit and expecting sane people. What the fuck? What I'm talking about now, this Reddit thread, I just found it. If I don't record me reacting to it now, I don't think I'll be able to express the genuine anger and emotion that this is evoking out of me. This long, delusional Reddit thread goes on to call Jungkook a child, talking about him as if he's not 27 turning 28. And you know what's even funnier about this thread? It is fully wrong. They're putting words in Jungkook's mouth, and Jungkook literally said the opposite, talking about how he's a grown man. It's just why this really upsets me so much is because we're talking about a human person. We're talking about an actual human person that's alive and eats and takes showers and has emotions, because they're a human. Jungkook is a human. We're talking about an actual real life human person, and you're coming up with the craziest fucking conspiracy theories because you're projecting, because you don't like something that they did. So in order to cope with that, you're coming up with a crazy conspiracy theory about how he's being used by another person, all because you don't want to accept the fact that he knows what sex is, and you don't want to accept the fact that he wants to talk about it. And we're calling him childish, and we're saying that he's brainless because he didn't write a song and he wants to accept it and sing it and perform it and release it as his own. I don't think we are truly understanding how dangerous coming up with some stupid ass fucking conspiracy theories, calling people
actual people childish based off of a fucking made up assumption because you're projecting and you don't like the decision that this person made because you can't accept the fact that he's a grown fucking man, and I'm so sorry, but he's not having sex with you, and he has sex and he knows what that is. You're 14, you need to grow up. And if you're any older than 14 and you're acting like this, oh my god, bro. We're talking about a real person. Jungkook is a real person, and this is crazy.
So, yes, that clip I inserted. I found this Reddit thread last night, and oh my god, guys, I'm getting nervous. Why are we acting like this? I'm just gonna read some of the stuff that stuck out to me. The explicit version made me feel the same way. I couldn't even get through the song and stopped it after the first chorus, which is completely fine, but then they go on to say that the song was already mid, and I guess they think because he talked about sex that made it even worse. I'm going to try and just like say this without laughing or getting angry because I'm already sweating. I agree. Huge difference between loving someone all night and fucking all night. The latter is devoid of emotion. And I don't think bitch, I was about to say Justin Timberlake. And I don't think Jungkook understood that, because Jungkook is a ooh-woo little baby, and he's 25 years old, and he's not fluent in English, and he needs a translator to translate every single thing from him, and he doesn't know what the word fuck means, and he doesn't know what sex means. Even though this is so funny that this Reddit thread came out and Jungkook literally, the words came out of his mouth that he's talking about being frank and it's not dirty, and he knows exactly what he's talking about. So this entire Reddit thread is wrong. But even if Jungkook didn't say that, this thread is obviously fucking wrong and we're delusional. First of all, I want to say that huge difference between loving someone all night and fucking all night is a line straight out of 50 Shades of Grey. Don't ask me why I know that. Mind your fucking... Why are we making this crazy assumption that the difference between the clean version and the explicit version is not because an explicit version is when there are curse words in it, and you think that he's really talking about there's a difference between loving somebody all night and fucking somebody all night? Do you know that I'll be loving you like all night and fucking you all night? Babe, that's the exact same thing. The only thing that's different is I can play this version on the radio and I play this version in my headphones when I'm listening to it on Spotify. I know you want to seem like fake deep and like there's a huge fucking... There's really not. Like, there is literally loving you right and fucking you right is the same fucking thing. Also, to contradict your opinion because you're so obviously fucking wrong, Jungkook could have been like, oh, let's just come out with loving you right. But the fact that he recorded fucking you right 2 different versions is to show that he's not a little fucking 16-year-old, however old he was when he debuted. He's a grown-ass man and he could talk about grown topics because he's a grown fucking adult. So for you to go, I don't think... Why do I keep saying Justin Timberlake? So for you to go, I don't think Jungkook understood that. You're obviously very wrong because he went out of his way to release 2 different versions. Yes, he should talk about it more openly if he chose to sing it, which he did. He chose to sing it. They didn't put a gun to his head and tell him to collab with Lotto. He literally chose to sing it. He read the lyrics, he chose to sing it, he chose to release it, and he also chose to release the explicit version. So I don't understand what the fuck you're talking about. I just think he truly isn't very mature for his age. So in the beginning, you guys were saying that this was too mature and he shouldn't be singing about sex, but then you're also saying that he isn't very mature for his age because he's singing about sex. This song was given to him. He liked it, agreed, that's it. He has a very childlike mentality. This is what upset me a lot because, like I said in the other clip, you're talking about an actual person and you think just because you don't want him singing about sex for whatever reason, that means that there is some conspiracy theory, which I saw in this Reddit thread, by the way, that he is being used by Scooter Braun or whatever fucking manager he has he's just a little baby and he doesn't know what he's talking about, and he's being used to come out with songs about sex because sex sells to make money. You think he's not a grown-ass man who made the decision to, somebody gave him this song and he went, oh, this is a good song, I'm gonna talk about it, and I'm consciously making this decision. Like he said on the live, he doesn't want to have the portrayal and image of him being a little fucking baby or a teenage boy that doesn't know nothing about the world. We need to stop doing shit like this. We need to stop making conspiracy theories just because somebody does something that we don't agree with. And we need to also realize we're talking about an actual man, an actual person. So for you to call him a baby, for you to say he has a very childlike mentality is actually fucking so disrespectful. The lengths that y'all will go to reach to make up that he doesn't know what sex is, and there's a difference between loving someone and fucking someone. Like, we're writing fan fiction and he just doesn't get it, and it goes so much deeper than this, and he has somebody controlling him because you are upset that he's not having sex with you. What are we on? He's 27. He's a grown man. And you know what else is hilarious to me? The same people that come up with these crazy, weird-ass conspiracy theories are the same people writing crazy-ass, vulgar tweets about the same idol. So you're saying that they're a baby and you're trying to protect them from the world, and you're trying to protect them from topics like sex, and they can't be singing about this, and they're just a ooh little baby. But then you're the same person that is tweeting some of the most vulgar sexual shit about them that I've ever seen in my life. Do you understand that that's so fucking contradicting? So it's fine when you do it and when you talk about it. God forbid they talk about sex and you get upset because it's not with you, and you're talking about like we have to protect Taeyang, we have to protect Jungkook. Like I said, how are you worrying about if an idol knows what intercourse is and trying to protect them because he's baby, but in the same breath writing the most vulgar tweets about them? Because obviously it's contradicting and you want to protect them, but really, going by your logic, we should be protecting them from you. And also, you want to protect these grown-ass men like they're the planet or something. You know who we should really be protecting? We should be protecting transgender people. They actually have every day they are threatened just by living. They're people who we actually should be protecting. And 9 times out of 10, like I said earlier, we should be protecting these idols from you, my nigga. You, the crazy fans, the stalkers, the ones that treat them like babies and try and baby them where they're fucking pushing 30, literally in the fucking army right now. The ones that ignore problematic choices, the ones that send death threats to other groups that they're not in because that other group had a higher stream than them or are doing well. This was hilarious. So many people, when V was in Paris, saying, oh my God, we need to protect V from what? He's pushing 30 and he's drunk as hell, twirling around on a stripper pole in a gay club. He sounds like he's having the time of his life. He's not safe when he's around fans that are trying to fucking pull on him and touch him and grab his hair. That's when we should be protecting him. These idols are not helpless babies. They're grown ass men, and they don't need you doing the most trying to protect them when you're the one causing most of these problems that they need to be protected from. And also, where does this dire need of needing to protect someone coming from? It comes from babying them. You don't feel like you need to protect someone unless if you think that they're a child and they can't protect themselves. What we really need to be protecting these idols from are underage idols debuting and being given concepts and songs that are meant for adults, Cookie, New Jeans, literally sexualizing teenagers, and also protecting those teenagers for some reason if you choose to debut a fucking 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17-year-old, and then they have fan signs and you have 40-year-old men coming up to them asking them weird questions screaming at them like that's not weird, like they're not a 12-year-old. Hey, Jeffrey, that's a 12-year-old. Why do you have a picture of a 12-year-old on the back of your phone case? Is that not weird? We need to protect idols from stalker fans. Jaeon, NCT127. This girl is literally been stalking them, has been stalking them for such a long time, and I don't I feel like this could have been solved already if it was America. Why does she not have a restraining order? I just don't understand what is happening. What's happening? Guys, I'm getting scared. Protecting POC fans from constant cultural appropriation. I can't believe this is still happening and it's almost 2024. Teaching stylists and idols about different cultures, which should be required if you want to be a globally famous idol. I forgot what this specifically was about, but maybe it seemed like Stray Kids was tired. It was something where some stays started, and I don't even want to consider you a stay, because if you're doing this, you're weird, but stays ended up making something trend on Twitter and started hating on a lot of the staff and trying to blame the staff for something. And it was to the point where Bangchan had to come on Chan's room and tell you guys to stop doing that, and they were okay. And stop blaming the staff because they're trying their hardest and you guys are creating problems out of nothing. Y'all want to ride for these idols so bad, but you end up making the idols look bad. Like, imagine if I am a staff working for Stray Kids and I'm trying my hardest every single fucking day, only to go on Twitter and see that people are telling me that I should get fired because Bangchan looks tired one day. Why am I gonna want to continue to work for Bangchan if I'm getting all this hate for it's not making sense. You want everybody in the world to listen to BTS so bad, but do you think they're gonna feel welcome and inclined to do that when they see you and your friends on Twitter telling Olivia Rodrigo to go D-word because Taeyong whispered something in her ear? Soul, I'm not gonna play the video, but apparently, I mean, I saw it. I don't think he did, but that's really not the point. The point and the problem is the reaction to it. There was a song that was playing with the N-word in it, and it looked like Soul mouthed the N-word. And I'm going to link the video, not that video, but the video of somebody talking about this because she made really, really great points. The thing that was scary was the reaction that the fans had. So some TikToks that were made were, Soul said the N-word. The only 3 English words he knows are Kiho Potato and OMG. Okay. Soul said the N-word. Be so for real. Bro wasn't even singing them lyrics. It looked more like he was summoning aliens or some shit. And other than that, Kiho Potato and alien are the only 3 English words that boy knows. What's scary to me is the lengths that people will go to defend their idols. Whether you think he said the N-word or not, this should not be the fucking reaction. Stray Kids was at the VMAs recently and they won, and I was so happy. Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B performed a song called Bongos, and it is about sex, and Stray Kids was in the audience for this. The video of Changbin and Hyunjin watching Megan and Cardi perform was blowing up. One of the weird comments that I saw that I knew I would saw, unfortunately, was, "Our children are too young for this. They're grown men. They're legal." Why are we calling them children? They're all grown. They're literally all legal. What is wrong with you? Why are you talking about these people like they're 5 or 10? You think they really don't know about sex? You really think they don't know about dating and kissing? Why are you projecting your beliefs onto them? What is wrong with you? And the fact that 100 people like this is fucking crazy. Hyunjin is 23, Felix is 23, Bangchan 25, Lino 24, Changbin 24, Seungmin 22, Han 23. Why is this other person still listed as a member? It's a problem because you're not allowing these people to grow. And most of these people are grown already. You're projecting your own expectations and beliefs on these people who you don't know, by the way. You don't know personally, you don't know them at all. And you're wrongly trying to protect them from nothing. How is my own fan that's supposed to support me also keeping me in a box. Your perception of reality is so warped. That comment about them watching Megan and Cardi, they're all legal. They all know what this stuff is about, whether you like it or not. Stop thinking they don't know what boobs are just because they're publicly not allowed to date or look at one of their coworkers, which is fucking crazy, by the way. They can't look at or talk to Itzy just because they're girls, even though they're all coworkers and they're friends. They've been coworkers and friends for years. Just because you're gonna make a random ass rumor up that they're dating, what is wrong with you? You think that girls and guys can't talk and be friends? That's also a problem if you think that. You think these idols aren't friends? You think these people don't talk to each other? You think these people aren't dating just because you don't want them to? This squeaky clean image of treating them like their children is hindering them and not allowing them to live their lives. And then when they do live their lives and do something that's normal, they get punished for it. My friend told me about somebody from EXO. When they got married, they were shunned and fans were trying to get them kicked out of their group because they got married. But then you'll have idols that actually are racist and do things that are very bad, and then you are like, oh, that's fine. Just because you're 14 or 16 or however old you are doesn't mean that they are too. Just because you haven't kissed someone or dated someone doesn't mean these idols also have the same experiences as you. And just because they have to act that way doesn't mean that it's true. Just because you don't want these idols to date anyone else other than yourself doesn't mean they're not dating someone right now. And you have to be so real with yourself. Acting like this and continuing to baby these grown men is dangerous.